Accounting, grade 11th, accountancy is a very interesting chapter. We are going to study chapter 1 of accountancy, that is Introduction to Accounting. As you can see on your screen, there are several things that will give you an idea about what is accounting all about. Accounting is a method to record the transaction, to calculate the inflows and outflows of money, to achieve the results, to guide the people about how much money a business is making, to have all the bank based transaction, and to bring success in any firm. There are a lot many transactions taken place in one day in any small business, small or big business unit. So it is very difficult for everyone to remember each and every transactions. For that, the books are maintained. First of all, we'll see what is the exact meaning of accounting. Accounting is the art of recording, classifying, summarizing in a significant manner and the terms of money, the transactions, events which are in part at least of financial character and interpreting the result thereof. That means accounting is a method of recording, classifying, and summarizing the financial transactions. Now, recording. That means to keep a record which event happened on what day. Further, it is to be classified in various heads of expenses that expenses has been taken place for what purpose. After that, it is to be summarized that whether it is a fruitful affair or not. That means whether the business is going in a proper manner or not. Next, the accounting is useful as a source of information for various people. And who are these people? They are investors. The people who have invested in the business, they'll make sure whether the money that they have invested is safe or not, whether to withdraw the investment or to continue the investment. And then on the basis of that, they'll make a decision. The lenders are the people who have given their money. So, with the help of books of accounts, they will see whether their money is increasing or decreasing. Creditors. Now, there is a very thin line of difference between creditor and a lender. Lender is a person who has given funds for the business. Creditor is a person who gives goods on credit to the business. So creditor are purely related to goods and lenders are related to funds and money. Both of them will make sure whether the firm has ability to pay back or not. Both of them can see the past performance of the firm and both of them can take up a decision whether to give such type of credit to that firm or not, and they can make sure by looking into books of accounts of that business unit or firm. Now the customers, these are also directly affected by the firm. Customers are the people who will affect the firm directly or indirectly. Customers can come to know the financial position of the firm and they will assure the continuity and stability of the firm by going through the books of accounts. The books of accounts will also show whether the customers are taken care or not. Their involvement is given that importance or not. Employees and government are also the stakeholders of any firm. The employee will make sure whether he is going to get the future employment and future remuneration and retirement benefits by looking into books of accounts and to understand and by understanding the financial position of the firm. Activities, taxation policies, and national income. Government is indirectly involved, but government has all rights to see the books of accounts and can have eye on the activities of the business, can give a taxable income and charge tax on, and thereby adds in national income. Accounting is a source of information to these parties. These parties are, though not directly involved, but indirectly they are always concerned about any firm's books of accounts. Now, what are the objectives of accounting? To maintain a systematic record, to ascertain the financial performance, to ascertain the financial position, and to communicate, that means giving information to the users of account. We'll see this in detail, that how the objectives of accounting are solved. Maintaining systematic accounts. Now we have discussed that each and every transaction is not remembered by human brain. So if the transactions are recorded, it will be easy for human being to keep a record and then to have a suggestive figure that what is a profit or a loss. If the transactions are more, human brain would not be able to remind in the transactions. In order to remind all the entries, a systematic record is maintained. So for maintaining the books of accounts, that is systematic recordings, because we cannot remember everything. Accounting is important. Okay. Next is to ascertain the financial position of financial performance of the business, that how well the company or a firm has performed. How we'll derive a profit, how we will derive a sale. See, you can see various figures or various particulars over here: sales, gross profit, net profit, cost of goods sold, and operating expenses. So how we come to know about all these figures? When we have a systematic record keeping and then summarizing and analyzing the accounts, then and then we will come to know that what is a profit or a loss of a firm and how well the firm has performed. Okay. Next objective of account is to ascertain the financial position of a business, whether a firm is owing lot amount of assets or a firm is wealthy enough, or there are liabilities to the firm. That will be only ascertain when we have a systematic record keeping. To know what the business owes to the other and what it owes, that means to what amount or to what an extent the business is liable and to what an extent a business is owing. Next is to communicate or to inform the users, the people who are directly or indirectly involved. To them, it is very informative communication, that is books of accounts or accounting as a whole process. Now we'll see the rule of accounts, how the process happens? Inputs, we will just have a look and a list of all the economic events. Now, when we talk about economic events, that means financial events, any event where the money is involved that are measured in financial terms. Then these records are processed. How they are processed? The recording is made, then classification is made. On the basis of recording and classification, there will be summarizing that what is the proper profit or loss. And on the basis of summarizing, there will be interpretation that yes, if it is profit, it is a good firm or the performance is good. And if it is loss or if it shows more liability, then the firm is not keeping well. And that interpretation is further inform to the users. Now, who are the users? We have discussed earlier the people who are directly or indirectly involved. They are the investors, the lenders, the creditors, government, customers, and even the employees of the firm. So, this is the process of accounting. Next, there are few terms that are very important to understand for learning the accounting in a very clear manner. Which are these firms? First is entity. Entity, that means the firm. Entity is economic unit that is accounted for separately. That means the firm for which the accounts are to be maintained. Events. Events are happening of consequence to an entity. Events are the things, any financial transaction or any financial exchange over goods, commodity, or service. These things are considered as events. Now, assets. Assets are anything that are belongings of the firm. That means the firm owes something. Anything that is the firm or a businessman is owner of that are considered as assets. So, tangible or intangible. Now, when we talk about tangible, the things that can be felt, touched, seen, they are tangible. We can take an example like equipments, raw materials, machineries, furniture in concern of the firm. Intangible are the things which cannot be seen but can be felt and has a value of money. That is goodwill of the firm, prestige that a firm has earned, and intangible are the things like license or a permit to produce something. So that are intangible assets and has a positive economic value. That means that has a value that will give future benefit. Now assets are further divided into current and fixed assets. Current asset is an asset on the balance sheet which can either be converted into cash or used to pay current liabilities within the 12 months. That means current is a shorter period of time and that current assets can be realized in the time span of one financial year. That means the current assets remains in the firm for a shorter period of within a year. Fixed assets are the assets that will remain in the firm for a longer period of time. They can be considered as a property like land and building, furniture, equipments, machineries, plants. Okay, they are considered as fixed assets. Now we'll talk about liabilities. Any financial burden to a firm is called liability. It's a financial obligation that is to be met in the future. That means the firm is payable in future, that is liability. Now, liability is also further divided into current and fixed. When we talk about current, again, it should be given back in a time span of one financial year or within a period of operating cycle that is decided that when there is a current liability, they have given a deadline or a date within that period is should be paid back. So that is called current liability because the time duration is less. Then we have long-term liabilities. Now, what are long-term liabilities? Long-term liabilities are the payments which can be paid in a longer period of time and which do not fall for a short period. Now, we can take an example of long-term loans, that is paid on installment basis. Next is capital. Now the amount that is invested in the firm, that amount of money is called capital, and it is most of the times brought in by the owner of the business, or it can be taken as loan from financial institutions. Drawings. Now, drawing is any amount of money or any goods that are taken away from the business by the owners of the business for their personal use. So that are drawings. Drawings are not always the amount of money. It is amount of money, or goods also, the goods in which the businessman is dealing with, that goods, if they are taken out of the business by the owners of the business for their personal use, are called drawings. Okay. Purchases, that if it is a trading unit or manufacturing unit, they'll purchase certain materials. For manufacturing unit it is a raw material, and for trading unit it is a purchase made for further sale. So purchases are the total amount of goods obtained by an enterprise for resale or to use in the production, that are purchases. Then sales. Sales are the total amount of goods which are sold, or not goods if they are services that are rendered to the customers, and the revenue generated, that means the income of money received, they are sales. Now debtors. Sales are related to debtors. If we have done any credit sales, credit transaction is a transaction where the money is not paid on the spot, and the money is paid on credit basis or future basis. So debtors are the people from whom the amount are due for goods sold and or services rendered on credit basis. So if you have made credit sales, if any firm has made credit sales, they will generate a debtor. Similarly, if the goods are purchased on credit, so the people to whom amount is payable for goods, they are considered as creditors. Okay. So if there is a cash sales, then no debtors are created. If there are cash purchases, no creditors are created. But if there is credit sales, debtors are created, and if there is credit purchase, then creditors are created. So in short, creditors are the one to whom payment is to be made, that means payable, that is liability, and debtors are the one to whom, from whom the payments are to be collected, that means the asset, that means we are going to get future benefits. So that's all for today. That's all for the video. Thanks for watching.